In this video, we're going to be looking at strings, and we're looking at slicing strings or breaking them into parts. And I can print these strings. And so if I print the cheese string, not much of a cheese shop, we've done that before. There are a number of things I can do with strings. I could concatenate strings. Say cheese 3 is equal to cheese 1 plus cheese 2, using the plus because they're strings, and concatenate the two. Well, I ran it and didn't print out the results. And so I get the combined string. Now, when I did that combined string, it ran together part of the output. There's no space between shop period and its. I can put a space in, so I can combine it with a space. And the spaces outside of the quotes don't matter. They're just there for readability purposes. And now it has that space. If I wanted to put them on separate lines now that they're combined, I could do a \n in the quotes, and that would put them on a new line. So I can control how my strings look as I'm going along, combine them with concatenation. But there are other things I can do with it. And I didn't have to put those in a different string, a new string. I could have said cheese 2 equals cheese 1 plus cheese 2, and it would have replaced what was in cheese 2 with the new value. Here, what I'm going to do is something called slicing. And slicing allows me to get part of a string. So I don't have to, when I slice, store it anywhere if I'm going to only use it one time. So if I put it in a print statement, if I said cheese and in square brackets put a number, that would indicate the position inside of the string. Now, strings, the characters are indexed based on their position, and that index value starts at 0. So the N in not is index 0. The O is index 1. The T would be 2, the space 3. The M would be index position 4. So that index position tells you where you're at in a string. If in the square brackets I put a 0, that would be the I, or I'm sorry, in cheese, it would be the N. So if I print that, it gives me the N. If I said position 4, that gives me the M in much because it's in index position 4. Now the space bar or the blank space is in position 3. So I can get any position here. Now, before we continue in our slicing, maybe I want to know how long a string is. And there's a function for that, and I'm going to store that in a variable L. I don't have to if I just wanted to print it out. And I can say L is equal to len, in this case of cheese, and we'll print the length of cheese is, and I didn't have to do that in an F string, and it says 26. So cheese is 26 characters long. If I want to get just part of a string, and again, I could store these, but in the brackets, I could put a starting position, let's say 4, colon, and an ending position, 10, and that says start at position 4 and go up to, but do not include index position 10. So the M was 4, U 5, 6, 7, the space is 8, the O of is in index position 9. It did not include what was at 10. So it always goes up to, but does not include the stop value. If I wanted to start at the beginning and go up to, well, we'll stick with 10. If I just leave that blank, now I could have gone 0 colon 10 and that would start the beginning, but going colon 10 would start at the beginning and go up to, again, not including position 10. I can do the exact opposite. I could start at, say, position 10 and colon at the end, and that would go to the end of the file or end of the string. If I wanted the last character, if I said -1, that would give me the last character in the string, which is a period. Go back and show the string again, the period. I could go and maybe the next to the last, but instead of the next to the last, let's start at -10 and colon to go to the end of the string. So that would go and start at 10 characters from the end. And it's the second E or the first E in cheese. And I could go -10 to -5. Now, one thing I don't use very often, but you can, is you can do a step or an increment. And I could say start at position 4, go to position 20, and then another colon. And if I said 2, that would go in increments or spaces of 2. So that would give me every other character. So N, then the O would be missing, the T, the space is missing. So that would give me every other character. Or I could do every third character. And in this case, that goes from the beginning to the end. I could put a start and stop position on it. So I could stop at position 1, or well, 2, say, and go to 12 in increments of 2. So I don't use that type technique very often. There is one little thing that occasionally I could use, and I'll do the whole string, but if I put a -1 in that position, it actually reverses the string. So using a -1 in that third position reverses the string. And that is how we slice a string. That comes in very handy when we're working with substrings where we find, with something we'll look at in another video, where a string starts that we want to pull out, and then we pull out part of that. So here we can concatenate strings, and we can slice or pull out part of them. And we could have stored any of those into a variable for using it for other manipulations and such. Now, if you're liking these videos, please like and subscribe.